and Chief Lee for the invite. And welcome to General Webb, Chief Gudgel, Colonel Generos, I see Blaze, I see Hoagie, I see Jason, the command chiefs here in the area. Miss Tony, a longtime colleague, we've worked on a lot of stuff together. And a special welcome and thank you to Chaplain Segrist. And I don't know if she's still here, but there she is. Yeah. So Chaplain Segrist and I were stationed together in Osan back in 2007, 2008, 2009. And she's been a huge inspiration. So thank you and welcome. I also want to say welcome to the Air National Guard leadership. I think Chief Mike Morris is here, and Air Force Reserve Chief Mike Johnson is also here, and any of the other Guard and Reserve leadership that happens to be here today. And finally, let me say welcome to all of the Blue Suit alumni and the Air Force Reserve Command leadership from the past. It really is an honor to be here to celebrate the accomplishments of all of our winners today. This is a huge deal. In January of 1989, after I dropped out of college, after a few months of hanging out and smoking natural cigarettes and drinking Mad Dog 2020, I found myself back home on the couch, laying around, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I actually, I rolled over on the couch and my wallet fell out. I had a wallet, I didn't have any money in it, but I had a wallet. And one thing fell out of the wallet, an Air Force recruiter's card, Tech Sergeant Rick Middlebrooks. I said, oh, I was joining the Air Force. So I called Tech Sergeant Middlebrooks, and this was in January. This was probably January the 28th, 1989. On March the 29th, 1989, I was over here, or over there on Lackland Air Force Base, marching around. I had joined the Air Force. Prior to that, though, Sergeant Middlebrooks, maybe to no fault of his own, sent me to MEPS a day early. So I sat through MEPS for 12, 15 hours, just sitting there looking. And then I came back the next day, the day I was actually supposed to be there. Because I joined the Air Force so quick, I didn't bother to take any time to really learn anything about the Air Force, and Sergeant Middlebrooks didn't really impart, anything. So after I got through MEPS on the second day, I was standing there, I swore in or something like that, and a recruiter came up to me and said, okay, well, congratulations, what's your name, son? I said, Kaleth Wright. He said, no, what's your name? I said, Kaleth Wright. I said it slow, like it was going to make a difference. He said, no, what's your name? You just joined the Air Force, what's your name? I said, Private Kaleth Wright. So I got a mouthful from the recruiter about how I was an airman and all this other stuff. So I got a little bit of PSD about recruiters. I didn't have the best experience. So Sonia asked me a couple of months ago if I would come and be the speaker, and I accepted, but I was quite nervous. I got this anxiety. My palms were sweating. I was going through this whole thing, and so I'm trying to explain to her how, hey, this might not be the best idea because I got these issues. I got this long-standing thing with, I'm still hurting from recruiting. And so I'm sitting down a couple of months ago with her and Kendall, and I'm explaining to them, and I am in a full frenzy about this speech. Like, I am so worried and so nervous. And finally, Kendall grabs me by both of my arms and said, listen, Chief K. Wright, in life, you only have two things to worry about. Either you're healthy or you're sick. If you're healthy, there's nothing to worry about. If you're sick, there's only two things to worry about. Either you live or you die. If you live, there's nothing to worry about. If you die, there's only two things to worry about. You go to heaven, you go to hell. If you go to hell, Chief, if you go to heaven, Chief, there's nothing to worry about. If you go to hell, you'll be so busy shaking hands with recruiters, you won't have time to work. That calmed me down a little bit. I don't want to go to hell. Being a recruiter is a tough job. 71% of the 34 million 17 to 24-year-olds in the United States are ineligible. 71% are ineligible for military service. Having to compete with college, having to compete with the economy, having to compete with our sister services, and now we've added another service that we'll compete with for bodies, the United States Space Force. I mean, it's a tough business. So I really do applaud each and every one of you for the amazing work that you do on a regular basis. I mean, it is phenomenal. Being recognized as one of the top recruiters in the United States Air Force, whether you're active duty, guard, or reserve, and I think that's fantastic. I remember when General Levitt and I first started talking about combining our Air Force recruiting, and to see it come to fruition it has been a great thing. And to see you guys come together and invite the guardsmen and reservists to this ceremony has just been fantastic. But to see you receive this level of recognition, man, it's something special. But what I want to talk to you about today is not allowing this to define you, right? You might have a silver badge or a gold badge, and you might be a blue suiter, and you might be recognized. And right now, CMSAF Sergeant Klein and everybody they're laying out the red carpet, right? You guys are staying in a nice haunted hotel, I heard. You're going to some fancy ranch tonight. I don't know if I was supposed to tell him that or not, but
no, you're good, Chief.
We went to the Spurs game, did some high altitude training at the Spurs game last night. But what I don't want is for this experience to define you. Nor should how many airmen you put in the Air Force define you. But let's talk about the things that should define you, the things that people should remember when they think about you as a blue suiter. The first thing that people should think about is that you are men and women of character. That you're honest, that you're patient, that you're kind, that you treat the students, recruits, or whomever, as well as your teammates, with the same level of respect that you would treat someone in your family. That deep down, you're not just great recruiters, but you are phenomenal human beings. That's one of the things that I've talked about lately that I wish more of us would think about is how do we all become better human beings? That's what I want to define you. It's how you take care of others. The other thing that should define you is your attitude, your positive attitude. Like I said, it's tough being a recruiter. It's tough convincing people to come in the Air Force. It's tough finding eligible people to come in the Air Force. It's tough being out on your own in some instances, maybe in a place where you didn't grow up, where you may not be that familiar with the culture. And a lot of things can go wrong, and in life, a lot of things will go wrong. That's how life works. The tough times will come, the hard times will come. Sometimes you won't meet goals, sometimes you'll be disappointed, sometimes the rigors of recruiting will cause you to have stress and strain on your families. And you can choose to complain about it, you can choose to ask, hey, why is this happening to me? This sucks so bad. Or you can choose to keep your shoulders back, your head up, and ask, hey, what's the lesson here for me? What should I be learning from this? How can I grow from this experience? A positive attitude, I would say, goes a long way, and that's one of the things I want you to be remembered for. I also want you to be remembered and defined by your discipline. Because again, same thing. Sometimes when you're out on your own, it may be easy to cut corners. when you have such high standards that you have, it might be easy to say you did when you didn't. It may be easy to just decide, it's just us, nobody's out here, I'll just sleep in. But that's not what champions do. That's not what successful people do. One of the things we may not see that on your 1206 or whatever you use to compete and win these awards, but I guarantee you those are the little things that have defined your success in this business, being disciplined. And if you think about any of your alumni that are here, any of the folks who have graced this stage in the past as Blue Suiters, I guarantee you they still lead a very disciplined life. I also want you to be defined by what you say to yourself, either out loud or inside your head when you wake up every morning. When your feet hit the floor, I'm thinking that this group says to themselves, how can I be great today? How can I practice excellence as one of our core values? How can I bring excellence into every single thing that I do on a daily basis? And to me, it shows, right? The results and your performance speaks for itself. Aristotle once said, excellence is not a singular act, but it is a habit. We are what we do repeatedly, and you've repeatedly done it. And that will be one of the things that will define you. The last thing that I think you should allow to define you, that we should remember you for, is not, again, this trophy or this eagle, is the level of teamwork that you have to display to get this done. You might be in a recruiting office by yourself or with one other person, but man, let me tell you, none of us can do it alone. It takes all of the support folks. It takes the folks back here at headquarters. It takes your teammates out in the field. It takes your teammates at the MEP station. And learning and understanding how to be a part of something much bigger than yourself, there's nothing like it. It sounds corny, and people, my team, they don't like when I say it. Call me a cornball. Teamwork makes the dream work, though, baby. Teamwork makes the dream work. You know, one of my favorite sayings is this African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. $34 million Americans between the ages of 17 and 24, 71% are not eligible for military service. Yes, this is hard. But because you've made a life and you've made a career of being men and women of character, having a positive attitude, being disciplined, practicing excellence every single day, and being a part of a team that's much bigger than yourself, I really don't have to worry. Thank you for your service. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and have fun at the ranch tonight.